Hello there, YouTube. Imaginary Lloyd, the imaginary friend, else have to come up with a better motto. For the time being, I'm going to tell you a story. So, this one was written by a very good friend of mine, and I actually ended up reading it to him birthday. It's a story based on My Little Pony, and I know how strange that must sound, but bear with me. It's kind of surprisingly well done. Well, props to the guy. If I find out that people actually like this kind of stuff, well, then maybe I might actually reveal who wrote it and give him the kudos as well. However, I'm not going to do that quite yet, because, well, I want to see where this goes. So, I give you Reaping Rainbow, a story about Rainbow Dash and Death himself. As the description reads, Rainbow Dash comes face to face with Death himself, and he is surprisingly cordial. But when Rainbow ends up in his debt, there is only one way to get back the life she knew. That, to take up the role, the Grim Reaper herself. And to all those people with experience in literary works, this is very much related or based off of some Terry Pratchett novels. Like Terry Pratchett, well, you're probably going to like this. And, well, having read it, I'm inclined to agree with that myself. Chapter 1. 20% Deader. Oh, what happened? Rainbow Dash stood up, eyes still shut tight as she rubbed her head and groaned. All the while, her alarm clock beeped rhythmically. She reached for it to turn it off, but found nothing but empty air. She opened her eyes, expecting to see her bedroom, but was instead greeted by a small room with mint green walls and a white tile floor. A wooden door with a narrow rectangular window was dead. Ah, where am I? She muttered. She turned around. Oh, there I am, she said with a relief, and saw herself lying in a hospital bed. Then she froze, realizing that everything about the sentence was very wrong. Not factually wrong, mind you. She did in fact see herself in a hospital bed, head slightly elevated, with machines hooked up to her to help her breathe, a neck brace doing an adequate job bracing her neck, and a bandage around her head. She realized the sound she'd mistaken for an alarm clock was, in fact, a heart monitor. Her eye twitched. Okay, she whispered uneasily. That's probably not good. Oh, unless that's not actually me. He leaned closer to the unconscious pony in the bed, inspecting her. Well, I mean, it's still not good, even if it isn't me, for that pony. But I mean, if it is me, then yeah, it's really bad for me. Rainbow mane certainly matched her own. The color of her coat did as well, but she couldn't see the mare's cutie mark under the covers. She went to lift him to see if it matched as well, only to have her hoof drift right through the solid matter of the entire bed. She yelped and leapt back, momentarily taken to the air in instinctive surprise. Okay, she said, trying to calm herself. Okay, she said again, after the first okay didn't work. She swallowed and settled back down to the ground. Okay, she said for a third time, feeling slightly better. Something's definitely up. I just have to figure out what. Maybe this is another mirror pool clone, like when Pete made copies of herself. Yeah, that's possible. And the reason I can pass through stuff is... Violet or Starlight did a weird spell, and I don't really remember right now. Yeah, that's the explanation, right? I mean, it's not like any pony else who has any other explanation. Well, I might have one, said a strange new voice behind her, and Rainbow Dash felt a sudden chill down her spine, and she froze in place, her eyes bulging. She stood, slowly turned around to see spoken. Pony stood there, or more accurately, the skeleton of a pony stood there. He wore a long hooded black cloak and carried a tall, curving black scythe that looked as though it had been carved out of the purest obsidian in Equestria and sharpened so much that it cut off the end of the sentence just by being talked about. She stared at him, and he in turn stared back at her with the tiny pale dots of flame that occupy his eye sockets. "Hello," he said, raising a hoof and greeting. "Sorry I'm late. And so are you, by the looks of things." Rainbow Dash remained silent. The skeletal pony chuckled, his voice sounding dry and whispery, yet perfectly audible with a hint of a Nottingham accent. "That joke always kills me. Sorry, poor choice of words." Rainbow Dash finally managed to hold up a trembling hoof. You're can't be." "Yes, I can." "But you're not. Not really." "Oh, no, I am. Very much so." "But then that means—" "Possible." Rainbow Dash let out a scream and slumped to the floor. "No, I can't believe this," she wailed. "How could this have happened?" "Oh, I can help with that, actually," he said. "You by chance remember the last thing you were doing before you ended up here?" Rainbow Dash paused, tapped her chin. Oh, she suddenly wore a wide grin. "Yeah, I remember. I decided that I should come up with some new tricks to share with the Wonderbolts, so I came up with the idea to bounce off a cloud and soar right through the middle of Whitetail Woods. With the extra wind speed, I'd suddenly pull out of a dive in the last minute with a 720-degree turn, pulling up all the leaves around me in a huge tornado. It'd be like a gigantic, colorful spiral with me in its center. It's perfect." "And so you went to try it out?" "You bet I did," Rainbow said, thumping her chest proudly. "Everything went perfect. I was zooming through the air." "Right." "I bounced off a cloud." "Go on." "And then I rocketed down through the trees." "Almost there." "And was about to pull up, and I saw that big one—" She froze, her enthusiastic expression melting into one of horrified realization. "And there we are. And there you are, actually," he said, indicating her unconscious body on the bed. "Then you must be—" "Ah, well, perhaps we should just stop beating around the bush, if you don't mind," he said. "To make it plain, yes, I am Death. And yes, this is really happening to you because you smacked headfirst into a tree." "But that's so lame," she shrieked. "I can't have died that way. That just can't be it." "Actually, you're right," Death said. "After you hit the tree, which was old and rotting, it snapped and fell on top of you." "No." "Yes. And then the squirrels living in the tree attacked you for destroying their home." Rainbow's jaw dropped open. Seeing that she had gone silent, Death decided to continue. "And now, Rainbow Dash, I have come for you." Rainbow Dash swallowed and began to back away. "Well, this is it," she muttered, mostly to herself. "My life is over? You're going to take me away?" "Well, actually, in this particular case." "Unless?" Rainbow said, narrowing her eyes. "Wait, please tell me you're not thinking of—" "Unless you're too slow to catch me," she shouted before taking to the air and soaring out of the open hospital window. And Death rolled his wispy eyes. "Oh dear," he sighed. "I should have known she'd be a runner." He raised his scythe and slashed the air, creating an opening in space and time that he then trotted through. That's really hard to say. 3, 2... Rainbow Dash shot away from the Ponyville General Hospital outhouse on the outskirts of the hospital. He went up the stairs and leapt through her bedroom door, only to come face to face with Death, sitting in... "One," he finished. "Ah!" Rainbow Dash yelped, coming to a sudden halt in midair. She whirled around, intending to escape again, when Death suddenly lowered his scythe, hooked it to her tail, causing her to get no more than a half a meter away before she was yanked back to the ground. "Please don't do that again," Death admonished. "No!" she screamed. "Let me go!" "Rainbow Dash, would you please just listen?" Please don't take me, she wailed, bursting into tears. It was just one mistake. I'm too young to die. Death sighed as Rainbow loudly sobbed on the floor, tears streaming down her cheeks as she hysterically pleaded for her life. All right, that's enough of this, he mumbled. He seized Rainbow by the neck and brought her to face up to his and bellowed, "Be silent, impotent mortal!" She fell silent and stared back at him with fearful, tear-stained eyes. There, now that I have your attention, said, and I can continue. I'm not necessarily here to take you away. Rainbow Dash blinked away tears. Really? Death nodded. Rainbow breathed a sigh of relief. So I'm not dead? I guess I should have figured that out since my heart monitor is still going. Anyway, so how long till I wake up? A few days. That's a relief. I guess spending a few days as a ghost won't be so... Oh, never. She gawked at him again. But you said you weren't here to take me. No, I said not necessarily. Then what are you doing here? If I'm not dead, why come after me? I do apologize, but this is an awkward situation, said, bowing his head slightly. You see, sometimes I'm summoned prematurely, and this happens in cases. You're having what we in the biz refer to as a near-death experience. Near-death experience? Repeated incredulous. Well, I am death, and me. It seems to be quite an experience for you, judging by the action. I would say that counts. So let me get this straight, she said, holding out her hooves, narrowing her eyes at Death. You mean to tell me I'm not really dead, but I'm also not really alive either? Like I'm stuck in the middle? Oh, that sums it up nicely, Death said. You'll either come out of your coma and go back to your usual life, or... No. So if I don't, then... then you'll be coming with me, replied. And Rainbow swallowed. It isn't so bad. And in the meantime, most animals will be able to see you. Oh, speaking of which, a pet tortoise. He paused, seeing Tank, Rainbow Dash's tortoise, slowly making his way out of the little house Rainbow had bought for him. Death raised the skeletal hoof. Hello, Tank. Tank slowly craned his neck to look up and see Death standing before him. His beady eyes went wide and he immediately retreated into his shell. Ah, I seem to have that effect on most animals, unfortunately. Except for cats. Shame. Would love to try keeping a little companion. Perhaps someone that would appreciate my work, like a crow. Oh, or a rat with a tiny cloak and... Will you please focus on me here? Rainbow asked, tapping him on the shoulder. Oh, of course, I'm terribly sorry. Is there something else I can do for you? Do you have any other questions? Like a bajillion questions, Rainbow exclaimed. Like, what happens if you die? If I do die, am I gonna go to pony heaven? She paused, biting her lip. Or pony heck? YouTube. I'm afraid I don't know that question, she said. I'm simply here to collect the spirits of those who toil, guide them on whatever lies beyond. What that is, I cannot say. It isn't part of my job description. Rainbow rolled her eyes. Well, that's a letdown, she grumbled. In that case, my next question, why are you doing this anyway? Doing this? He asked, tilting his head to the side. Could you be more specific? You know, killing ponies. And at this, his eyes flashed with sudden intense flame. I do no such thing, he shouted. I go where I'm needed and help those who have passed on to accept their fate, but I do not steal lives from anyone. Okay, Rainbow Dash said, holding up her hooves hurriedly as she backed away. She offered a sheepish grin. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend you, Mr. Grim Repony. Please don't call me that. Sorry, he said quickly. So I was also wondering, if some pony doesn't want to die, can they get out of it somehow? Death let out a long, bone-dry sigh. He went over to Rainbow's desk and pulled out a chair, taking a Apparently he was taller than she was, she observed. Technically, yes, there are a few space for one open one position. Really, Rainbow Dash, taking flight and flying close enough to be muzzle to muzzle with it. He pushed her back gently. Yes, but there are only 3 options. I doubt you'll like any of them, if that's what you're asking. My gosh, I knew it! That's the first. A pony simply cannot give up on the mortal coil. They can remain a ghost and haunt the living until they finally accept their death. Efficiently skilled cleric, priest or mage exercises them. Rainbow Dash made a face. Yeah, that sounds lame. I mean, it'd be great for pranking at first, but after that... died. Okay, but wasn't there another way? Twilight was telling me about this book she read where some pony played a game against death. You and managed to win. What do they call that? A duel. Yeah, she exclaimed. Like if I challenge you to... a race, perhaps. Ah, exactly. I bet I could... Wait. She paused, remembering how Death had easily beaten her back to her house when she tried to escape him earlier. Okay, no, not a race. Well, most ponies challenge me to a game of chess, he offered helpfully. I'm not playing egghead games like that, she scoffed. Well, in any case, you should probably know the terms of the duel are. Aha! She shouted, raising a hoof to her sky. Death, prepare yourself, because I'm about to beat you in a game that no pony has ever beaten me in before. I challenge you to, paused for dramatic effect, a game of Monopoly. Oh. Death shrugged. Well, it's your funeral, he said. And with a tap of his scythe, a table appeared between them with a Monopoly board already set up. And 3 hours later, Rainbow Dash was in a cold sweat, nervous to figure out how a non-corporeal spirit could sweat in the first place. Death sat across from her, a cup of tea in his hoof. He sipped it calmly in a way that would have perplexed Rainbow if she hadn't been focused on the task at hand. You know, this is actually rather fun. I'm not sure why ponies say they'd rather die than play. Rainbow Dash shot him a glare as she held the dice in her hoof. Hey, I'm so close to pass and go and collecting those 200 bits. Dice don't fail me now. With the enthusiastic cry, she rolled the dice. Her eager smile faded as she saw the results of her roll. Oh dear, it seems landed on Parkney Place. F said, and I happen to have a hotel on it. That's certainly going to cost you, but if my math is correct, and it always is, you don't have enough to cover the cost. He leaned back, and I believe that means I am victorious. Rainbow Dash lowered her head in defeat. I believe I lost, she said. I'll just have to see if I wake up in the next few days, right? But F stood and tapped his scythe, causing the board game to vanish. Oh, Rainbow Dash, if it were only that simple. The terms of the duel were that I would end life if you won, and you would lost, which you have. Rainbow stared back in horror. She slowly began to back away. No way, she whispered. No way, I didn't know. Come on, best 2 out of 3. I'm afraid not, Rainbow Dash. This has been delightful. My time is up, and regrettably. He raised the scythe. Rainbow ducked, covering her head with her forelegs. Please give me another chance, she cried. I mean, didn't you say there were 3 options to get out of this? Let me take the 3rd option. I'll do anything. Death paused. Anything, yes. Rainbow cautiously opened one eye. Yeah? Are you quite certain about that? He swallowed. Having a face that was essentially a grinning skull, she somehow felt like he was grinning more now than he was before. Still, we have, given the circumstances. Yes, if it means I get to be alive and go back with my friends and family and Scootaloo and every pony else, then yes, I'll do anything. Death lowered his scythe. Well then, I believe I can offer you a deal. The 3rd way to earn a reprieve is to do me a favor, and I believe I've earned a short holiday. Oh, Dash mumbled. That sounds cool. If you want some suggestions, maybe a traveling buddy, I guess Las Vegas is pretty awesome. Or we could try the beach, or... Actually, Rainbow Dash, you misunderstand, Death said, holding up his hoof. While I am on holiday, Another must fulfill the Reaper said. And Rainbow blinked. You can't be serious, she said. This is a joke, right? You're not really saying you want me to... Death took hold of his cloak and swept it off and threw it to Rainbow Dash in one quick moment. He looked down and saw that she was not only wearing his cloak, but scythe, hoof. And Death himself was wearing a straw hat and a gaudy tropical shirt. Congratulations, Rainbow Dash, Death said, patting her on. You are the new Grim Reaper. To be continued. And with that being chapter 1, I will call this to a close. Please stay tuned for chapter 2, 3, and all the rest as time goes by. And if you want to suggest other stories, feel free to do so in the comments should you so notice this in the future. And yeah, give me suggestions and we'll kind of go from there. Anyway, thank you very much for now, and I'll see you all another time. Later.